But Jesse Uebelhor, Division Agronomist here at Superior Ag. Know a lot of you guys get out to a lot of farms, fields, whether with your sales guys or agronomists out there. And I'm here to talk to you about a little bit about our services and what we provide, because sometimes you guys don't even maybe look at it as a service or what we do, and just want to kind of spell it out a little bit, and why we do what we do out here. So our goal is to help you guys make every acre better that you farm. So you think about when I look at our agronomists that actually come to your farm every day, their goal is to come out there. Their passion is to help you make every acre that you farm better, and they want to do that. And that may not be just making every yield better, but it might be using some of the technologies that we have to reduce some of your costs, whether that's seeding rate, lower your seeding rate in some areas, lower your nitrogen rates in some areas, and then maybe raising and lowering that depending on using the variable rate technology out there. So it's about helping you make more money on your acre. So that's their passion, that's their goal out there. Every day they get up, that's why they do it. So you think about, I'm going to break this out into like 3 different seasons out here. So the post-harvest, so right after the combines hit the field, the service, the pre-season, and then the in-season timing of services that we provide. So you think about as soon as the combine leaves the field, we're thinking about soil sampling. Soil sampling, it's on a 3-year rotation typically, depending on each operation. Some guys do that a little different. But if we got to have the base fertility. We have tested agronomic sciences behind it that we've tested over the years, university tested, and then also in our innovator trials, and then a history of all of our data in our EFC programs that actually can prove how much removal we're seeing from that crop based on removals of the yield, based on yield. So we've done a lot of stuff with that, Jason and the team have. So thinking about crop removal, as soon as then the combine leaves the field, a lot of you guys got yield monitors in the combine, you're taking that yield off. We're putting the fertilizer back on based upon removal. So using the technologies, using the variable rate technology out there. So then you start talking about cover crops already. So some of you guys are thinking, well, when I'm putting this fertilizer on, what cover crops potentially can I be using? So then it's about your goal and what species match your goal. So these guys are having those conversations about that. So thinking about if your goal is just soil erosion and maybe some weed control, you're probably going to be looking a lot at cereal rye or wheat, okay? If your goal is actually to produce some additional nitrogen, you may be looking at legume type products like crimson clover and other things out there. If your goal is compaction alleviation out there to eliminate some compaction and just capture some nutrients, maybe you're going to be looking at the radishes or rapeseed or things like that, or even ryegrass in some situations. Guys are using ryegrass for fragipan, helping with that. So you think about all of those things, and then the custom application, the variable rate technology that they provide, and then it's about using the tools that we have. We talked about the innovation and all that out there, but it's climate data capture. So we use climate a lot, but it's the data you're capturing from your combine seat that you're seeing out there, that we can actually help break it apart with climate, with all of the data, and you can very easily break apart your management practices, your hybrids on your own farm. So it's using the data that you guys actually generated. It's all right there. Everything under your management practices tells us which hybrids, which fertility program, which in-furrow fungicide maybe you're using. We can break all of that data apart then. So using the tools that we have out there and having a cropping plan. So our guys do a great job of putting together a plan. So I want to use a terminology from Mike Gress. I've worked with Mike for 27 years now, basically. But he always said one thing. He said, failing to plan is planning to fail. Probably almost the same comment. I bet everybody that's worked with Mike Gress, he's probably heard him say that at some point in time. But he's right. If we don't have a plan out there, guys, we don't know where we're going. So all of our guys do a great job of helping you guys try to bring it together and come up with a plan and let them do what they're passionate about every day. So then we get into the in-season, the pre-season planning. So this is after harvest is done, but we're right in the, that November, December, January, February time frame, and we're out there looking at all of our data that we've generated out of our innovator trials. Our innovator group, led by Jason Leakin and Adam Messmer, do a fabulous job of putting out trials and plots. I think they got over 23 corn plots out, identical corn plots across our territory. That's a huge amount of data coming out of those plots. In-furrow trials, you know, what fungicides are we using, whether it's Xyway trials, using Tapera Plus trials, in-furrow fungicides, all kinds of things there, the micros, seed treatment trials. We got all that information that we're actually doing on your farm under your management practices. I mean, how much better data can you have than to make decisions on that's done on your farm locally here? We're validating the information that we get on your guys' acre that comes out of the answer plots or all the research from whether it's FMC or Bayer or whoever it is, the main companies we work with. But we want to validate that. So then variable rate seeding recs. So thinking about those seeding recs and how we actually utilize that information and build those for your farm operation to help you guys have a bigger ROI in the end of the day. Variable rate nitrogen. You know, not every acre on your farm is going to make 240 bushel, but you got some acres that might make 160, and that's all it's capable of. So lowering that population, maybe lowering that nitrogen within relationship, the type of soil it is, and coming up with a rec on that. But then everything that we've just talked about here up to this point comes down to this, and this is one of the big reasons we became precision planting dealers out there, and you'll hear more about the precision planting. But everything that we've done, if you don't actually get it right with the planter, if your planter's not set up to actually get the seed in the ground at that 1.5 3/4 inch deep, if you don't have the down pressure, if you don't have the closing wheels set, if you don't have the meters to actually place the seed accurately in the soil, everything that we just talked about that we've done has been watered down. I'm not saying it's null and void, but it's watered down, and that's why we're pretty passionate about making sure your planter's right and that passes right. And then we go to our winter grower meetings where we actually sit down with some of our reps and bring them in with new products, new technologies, whether it's Winfield or our BSF or Bayer or whoever it may be out there, Syngenta, with new products and things that they're seeing that we can actually trial and bring to our field and our farms. So with that, then we finally get into the end season when we're actually out in the field, when the planters hit the field. Our agronomists are out there. They're actually doing stand evaluations in your fields, helping you make decisions, whether you should keep a field or replant a field based on population, based on the hybrid, the ability for that hybrid to flex, other things out there. Monitoring that herbicide programs, they're out there scouting, you know, making sure that the products we used are actually are working or holding, and then what do we need to do? Because every field, every farm, you may have a plan, but we may have to adjust based on the time it was from the time you sprayed, the initial burn down, to the time we're actually posting. So there's going to be adjustments in that operation, but we got a base plan that we had out there. And then we think about our agronomists today. They're really about being a consultant for you guys. They're not here, they're here because of passion about growing a bigger crop every day. They want you guys to be successful. And they're out there field scouting, they're doing tissue samples, they're doing in-season micronutrient recommendations on your farm based on data that we've pulled locally from our innovator trials or from the Winfield trials that they do. But we test all of that stuff through our system then. So kind of just bringing it in to the end, just that high yield intense management, you know, like Preston talked about up there. It's not, we're gonna high yield and intensively manage every acre that you farm, but everybody needs to take an acre or a couple fields and actually manage it and see what you can do, or do a trial, because that trial can make you money for years down the road based on the information you've gained on your own farm. So with that, you know, just kind of wrap it up here. I'm sure I'm about out of time. 30 seconds. Okay. You know, our guys out here that are on the farm that come to your field every day, just like I do with several of the sales guys or agronomists that go out there, we're passionate about what we do, guys. We're here as partnership, you know, to bring you the value that we can to help you guys in the end of the day on your farm be more successful. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why every one of our agronomists that work with you guys, that's why they do what they do every day. So with that,